In Russian-occupied Abkhazia, protesters stormed the local parliament. Before that, the protesters knocked down the gates of the building's fence with a car. Some people went to the president's house. During the clashes with the police, shots were heard and gas was sprayed. There are no known casualties yet. People came out to protest against the policies of the pro-Russian president who controls the parliament. They demand his resignation. The reason for the rally was today's vote in the Abkhaz parliament on the ratification of an investment agreement between Sukhumi and Moscow. The protesters consider the agreement a direct surrender of interests of Abkhazia. Dozens of drones attacked the Krasnodar region of the Russian Federation. The Krymsk military airfield was the target of the attack. Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Counterinformation at the National Security and Defense Council, announced this. Traditionally, the Russian authorities reported that all targets had been hit. Local residents write on social networks that some drones have reached the ground, after which explosions were heard. The European Parliament calls on the G7 countries to strengthen control over compliance with price restrictions on Russian oil, significantly lower the upper limit of the oil price and eliminate loopholes used by Russia to sell oil and oil products at market prices. MEPs call on the EU to ban all imports of Russian fossil fuels, including Russian liquefied gas, and emphasize that the impact of existing sanctions and financial and military support to Ukraine will continue to be undermined as long as the EU imports Russian fossil fuels. The British and Estonian military blew up a bridge in Tallinn while training to create obstacles against the Russian Federation, reports Delphi. The mass media, with reference to the authorities, writes that the destruction of the bridge is necessary because it will allow to gather knowledge and conduct training of the creation of barriers in the event of a war with the Russian Federation. There will also be the construction of a new bridge that will withstand NATO tanks. The European Union is developing a new package of sanctions against Russia because of its aggression against Ukraine. This is reported by Bloomberg. According to them, the new sanctions will be directed against the Russian shadow fleet. The EU intends to approve the restrictions by the end of year and adopt them on February 24, 2025, the third anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion on Ukraine. According to the interlocutors of the agency, the package will also provide for fines against persons associated with the trade in Russian oil. In addition, Brussels wants to raise tariffs on Russian agricultural goods, food and fertilizers, the publication says.